This is a Singer 1590 model sewing machine. It's very similar to the 1591. The only difference is the 91 has a potted motor, the 90 has the motor mounted in the back. If you want to see how I took the sewing machine looking like this to looking like what we have here today, I'm going to show you the tools you need to get this done and the cleaning items that you need to clean it up and get it nice and new looking like this one is. And right here on the table, let's go over what tools you're going to need. Now this is just going to take a large slotted screwdriver, a small slotted screwdriver, a very small, in case you have to adjust the tension in the bobbin case, brass brush, just to clean some of the steel areas here, like if the needle bar has a little surface rust, and your sewing machine oil. I just have a little bottle here. And then if you stick around in the video, I will put chapters in the video. You can jump ahead to see the cleaning products I use to polish the paint on this machine and what I use to clean up the plated surfaces of the machine. And they're very simple to take off. This is, you loosen one screw here, this whole plate comes off, and very simple machine to work on. You don't want to force anything when you get one of these machines and you start working on it. And this one is so tight that I'm going to go ahead and actually remove a few parts right away. Let me show you what that's going to involve here. I'm just going to go ahead and get this bobbin case out of here. We're going to pull that out. There's a retaining clip right here. I'm going to get that out because I want to get the hook out of the machine because it's so tight. I'll need to clean and oil this area anyway. I'm just going to turn this hand wheel just enough to get this out of here. Okay, and this retaining clip is going to come with it right here. It's easy to put back in. There's two pins here and two holes that coincide. You want to put the more flat side. You can see there's an angle on it. We'll go back in like this. But I got that out of the way because this will need to be cleaned anyway, and the machine is turning over so hard from not being oiled. And then I'm going to go ahead and take off one more part here. Right here, the face plate. There's one screw. You don't have to take it all the way out. You can just loosen that up, a couple of turns, and just push up on the face plate. Push it out a little bit, give it a tap like this, and just lift that up out of the way. Okay, now I've got to where I can easily oil this mechanism. There's a little bit of surface rust there, but that'll come off. You can just take it like a brass brush and just work on that a little bit. That'll clean right up. Same with this, not the needle bar, but the presser foot bar right behind it. Looks like it's got a little surface rust too. But you don't want to force any of this, so I'm going to start just by gently turning this. Let's get it back down here where you guys can see. Back it up a little bit. I'm just going to turn the hand wheel. I'm not sewing, so I can turn in either direction. It doesn't matter. I'm going to get this needle bar right here in the up position, and just with my small bottle of sewing machine oil, I'm going to go ahead and oil the needle bar up good. And I'm not going to worry about getting too much on here because I can let this sit overnight and the extra is going to just drip off. There's a felt pad in this one, original felt pad still in here. I'm going to fill that with oil right up here on top. And then there's the oiling point right back here, right along the needle bar. I'm just going to turn this over so I can get at, there's another pivot point right here on the machine. Give it a good dose of oil. This is still turning over really hard, but we're getting a good layer of oil in there. You're going to see several oiling points right here. These are going to get the other points in the front and back here. I'm just going to tip it back up so my oil drips straight down, but you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 oiling points on the top. Add little decals on them that said oil. And typically you just put 1 drop of oil in there, but I'm putting like 3 or 4 just because this is so dry. And when I do the larger hole back here, there's the main shaft to the bottom. I'm going to give that like 3 and turn it. Then there's a small oiling point right back here. Let me turn the machine again. Right back here, you might see this little stainless steel spot. Put some oil in that one. Okay, I want to see what's happening. Okay, it's getting a little bit better. I think the culprit is going to be the bottom side. Now this is not the potted motor machine. This is a 15J. So it's got the motor right here on the back of the machine, and the belt was loose when I picked this machine up today, and I left it loose just because I know that I want to be able to turn this over and get everything oiled up the right way. Where the take-up lever is super dry. I think if we get that oiled up good. Now we're going to go ahead and open up this cover right here. You can see some of the oil I dropped in from the top, where I can get a little bit more oil on those from right here. Oh, look at that. And there's a fork right here you're going to see. And then also, if you move the, let me see if you can see in there. This cord's in the way. I'm going to quickly take this lamp off. It's only 1 screw. 1 screw and this is out of the way. Okay, here we go. You can see the components in here. If I move the stitch length and stitch reverse, you can see that component right here is moving. And if I turn the hand wheel, you'll see the inside, this moves back and forth. You want to get that all the way to the bottom and then go ahead and put some oil in there, which I'm going to do right now. Right in here. All right, I'm going to work that stitch length lever up and down and get all of that moving. But it doesn't seem like there's any broken parts, anything like that. It just needs to get oiled up good and it'll be good to go. You can now see the bottom of the machine, so let's get started. I'm gonna go ahead and get my oil in the pivot right here, right up here. Then I'm gonna just rock that hand wheel a little bit. And I can see that the fork, this fork right in this position, is really dry. I think once that gets oiled up, and this cam is super dry too. Get these oiled up, these will start moving a whole lot better. Oh yeah, that was really dry. And right down in here where is the oiling hole, right in this, there's a felt pad in there that's going to retain some of that oil. And I might as well get the one in this casting right here. But we're to the point now we don't have to worry about breaking anything. It's starting to move pretty freely. And we got another one right here at the end of this shaft. Wherever you see one of these pins coming through the casting onto these rods, you're going to want to put oil in there. Right up here. This is the dial that you can unscrew to drop the feed dogs if you want to do like free motion quilting and things like that. You just run this screw out and then it'll let the feed dogs drop down. And then there's 2 hidden behind this shaft right here. Okay, there's one right back here and right back here. It's the same as these. It's just on a short shaft in the back. And there's a roller right here with this on this fork. Make sure you get some oil on that. This one. Let me just show you how you can quickly take this apart if you need to get in here and clean these pieces. You can use a screwdriver on this thumb screw right here if it's been over tightened. But if it's not too tight, you should be able to just do this with your fingers. You're going to take out this thumb screw. There's a retaining clip right here, this U-shaped clip right here. It has a flat part on the back. Okay, take that out. And you want to make sure you turn your hand wheel so that the hook is in this position with the retaining area on the left side, the hook on the right, and then this small piece here will come out. That's another retaining clip, and you want to make sure that you put this back in the correct way. It's sitting on two small retaining pins here, there, and there, and it has two holes in it. You want to make sure you put it with the flat side. It's flat on this side and has a little taper on the top. Don't want to get out of focus. And that goes just like this. Then you can pull the hook out of the machine and take a look at it. And go ahead and clean all in here. Clean any lint and dust and thread out of here. And then you're going to want to put a little bit of oil right on the race of this casting so that the hook will oscillate back and forth in there properly. And take a look at the hook to make sure the point is sharp, it doesn't have any burrs on it. If there is a burr on it from the needle strike, just take some 800 grit paper, sandpaper, and just very, very gently try to buff it out. You don't want to get over aggressive with this. Alright, and to put it back together, we'll just drop that back in like that. I've got the retaining clip on the left side. I hold it where the bobbin case is going to go in with the hook like this and set it in there just like that. And now you're going to take this retaining clip with the two holes, keep the flat side to the back, slide that up in. It's got to go in at a little bit of an angle here. I'm trying not to block everything. And then it'll just rest on these two pins. And then you can put on this retaining clip and the screw this in. And it does have a stop. The threads only go in so far, so just screw it in until it stops, because this is flexible and it'll just hold it in there snugly. Okay, let's continue. The back of these machines that are in cabinets typically is pretty dirty, so before I start cleaning on this, I want to remove these electrical components. The light is just held in by one screw right here in the casting, so you just have to go ahead and remove that. Okay, that's off. I'm just going to set it out of the way, and we can rotate the machine. And you're going to see one screw going into the casting right here. This is to adjust the belt tension, and you can actually remove this whole motor. So I'm going to just loosen that up. It's going to have to come all the way out. Okay, this has already been loose once, so it came off easier, obviously. And I'm just going to move this out and tip it off the belt, and I can get the whole motor assembly and light will get right out of the way. That way I can clean this separately. I don't want to get a lot of moisture on that. Okay, you can see the back of the machine right here has a lot of dirt on it from sitting in the cabinet. I already cleaned this just a little bit as a test, but I've used this product before, so this is what I use right here. It's just car polish. Put a little bit on here, and before you use anything on your machine, just test on an area that you're not too worried about if something does go sideways. Okay, the polish has only been on here for about a minute. I did have to grab my paper towels and pause the video, but let's just get to work on this right here. It should clean up pretty well. And I haven't even spent a total of 5 minutes on this little spot, and you can see it's all cleaned up and nice and shiny. I'm not trying to make the machine look like new. I just want to get it clean enough so when you're working on a project, obviously you don't want a dirty machine. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this deck a little bit, and then we'll continue, and I'll show you what I use to clean the stainless steel parts of the machine. Okay, I have the face plate here. It's not terribly dirty, but there's some oil and yellow tarnish in this area. And here's the back plate. And what I'm going to do is I just set these in a tray. This is designed to use on dishes and stuff, and it works really well. So I'm just going to go ahead and spray some on. And you might not be able to see this because I don't want to get it all over everything, but here we go. I'm just going to get a little bit of this spray because this is designed to dissolve oil. And it smells kind of citrusy, so I don't know what's in here. But if you can use it on your dishes, it should be pretty safe. Alright, so I'm just going to spray that on like that and let it soak in, and then we'll see what the end result is here in a few minutes. Residue and oil is off. Same on the back plate. Cleaned up real nice. Front and back, and the thumb screw. Hand wheel or balance wheel to turn freely when we wind a bobbin. As you can see right now, it's engaged and the machine is operating as if you were sewing. So what you have to do to get that done is just go ahead, and there's one screw right in this thumb wheel that you can tighten this pulley down. Run it out until you can rotate this all the way around. Okay, it's got to come out a little further. A couple turns. You can take it all the way out if you want to, but if you can get it to go past the locking mechanism, you don't have to. Okay, then the next part you're going to see here, it's important that you put this back on properly. It's this little three-sided washer which lets you lock the hand wheel and loosen it just by turning it. And this is the way it goes. It goes with these tabs. Actually, you can see these tabs, they're further out, not back. So you want them pointing out when you put this back on. The reason that comes off is because this hand wheel right here is super dry, and you want that to spin freely on the shaft when you're winding a bobbin. So I am just going to pull this out part of the way like that so I can get some oil in here. And I'm probably over oiling a little bit, but I can always wipe things off later. And then I'm just going to grab the needle bar here. There's no needle in here, so I don't have to worry about it. That will keep the needle bar from moving, and I can get that oil all the way around. Well, the belt just came off too, so let's just take this off. This is what I'm trying to accomplish right here, is get oil on this shaft. You can oil it up good and clean it. That way when you're winding your bobbin, this should spin freely without engaging the sewing mechanism. Your hand wheel goes back on the shaft, spinning freely now. Okay, then take your locking washer right here with this protrusion and this washer out. Set it on here, just like that. And if you have to, you can tip the machine a little bit if it doesn't fall off. Let's see if I can. That oil might be sticky enough it'll hold it there. I'll turn this. Okay, and then we just put this back on. And you want those notches in that washer to be positioned in such a way that when you run this screw in, that you can tighten the hand wheel. Okay, I can see I don't have it in the right position. I'm going to have to alter it. I'm going to have to turn it to the other direction. It's going to have to go just like, this was this little tab right here. Position I had it in, this tab was actually hitting the screw when I locked it down, so that tells me I have to rotate it to this position right here. That way it should lock down the screw that you run in, so a tab sticks out here, should land somewhere in here so you can loosen the hand wheel. So let's get this threaded back on. And where's it going to stop? Hand wheel or balance wheel to turn freely when we wind a bobbin. As you can see right now, it's engaged, and the machine is operating as if you were sewing. So what you have to do to get that done is just go ahead, and there's one screw right in this thumb wheel that you can tighten this pulley down. Run it out until you can rotate this all the way around. Okay, it's got to come out a little further. A couple turns. You can take it all the way out if you want to, but if you can get it to go past the locking mechanism, you don't have to. Okay, then the next part you're going to see here, it's important that you put this back on properly. It's this little three-sided washer which lets you lock the hand wheel and loosen it just by turning it. And this is the way it goes. It goes with these tabs. Actually, you can see these tabs, they're further out, not back. So you want them pointing out when you put this back on. The reason that comes off is because this hand wheel right here is super dry, and you want that to spin freely on the shaft when you're winding a bobbin. So I am just going to pull this out part of the way like that so I can get some oil in here. And I'm probably over oiling a little bit, but I can always wipe things off later. And then I'm just going to grab the needle bar here. There's no needle in here, so I don't have to worry about it. That will keep the needle bar from moving, and I can get that oil all the way around. Well, the belt just came off too, so let's just take this off. This is what I'm trying to accomplish right here, is get oil on this shaft. You can oil it up good and clean it. That way when you're winding your bobbin, this should spin freely without engaging the sewing mechanism. Okay, I'd say I got that pretty good. While I've got that off, let's get in here. You can see there's a little bit of, you can get a little bit on the back side of this shaft that's going to soak in there. Right here. Alright, I'll show you how to put that back on quickly here. I'm not going to worry about the belt. I'll leave that off for a minute. Your hand wheel goes back on the shaft, spinning freely now. Okay, then take your locking washer right here with this protrusion in this washer out. Set it on here, just like that. And if you have to, you can tip the machine a little bit if it doesn't fall off. Let's see if I can, that oil might be sticky enough it'll hold it there. I'll turn this. Okay, and then we just put this back on. And you want those notches in that washer to be positioned in such a way that when you run this screw in, that you can tighten the hand wheel. Okay, I can see I don't have it in the right position. I'm going to have to alter it. I'm going to have to turn it to the other direction. It's going to have to go just like, this was this little tab right here. Position I had it in, this tab was actually hitting the screw and I locked it down, so that tells me I have to rotate it to this position right here. That way it should lock down the screw that you run in, so a tab sticks out here, should land somewhere in here so you can loosen the hand wheel. So let's get this threaded back on. Okay, now I've got it in the correct position. I'll tighten that screw, just snug it down, and now when I turn the thumb wheel counterclockwise, it'll let the hand wheel spin freely. I hope you found this video helpful on the Model 15 Singer. If you did so, please hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.